We're back at it again. So today we're going to talk about the Onslaught Tampa Open, the 5-man team event, and break down exactly what that's about, right? We're going to talk about the pairings, the missions, placings, prizes, and much, much more. So make sure to stay tuned and locked in. All right, everyone? What's up, my brother? How you doing? How you been? How's life?
I can't complain. I'm doing great. You know, my favorite time of the week is 40K night.
Always. Every time that we get on here is an absolute pleasure to get on with the peeps and talk about some things, educate the people, right? A little bit, as much as possible.
Have the people educate us sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yes, this is not a one-way street. We could definitely learn some things too. 100%. I think that all of us are infallible, right? We're not infallible, so we always have that opportunity where we're not perfect and we don't know everything in 40K, especially in 40K itself. So
40K.
But anyways,
40K.
40K is just an erratic world of scribes, and I don't mean like personnel scribes, like books and tablets of just written nonsense, thousands of them, and then they put it all together, smash it together, and say, "Here you go. Here's the rules." It's just a salad of just rules.
It's just a bunch of ideas someone threw into a pot, and they're like, "What if Vikings, but in space and like frozen tundra? Go."
Exactly.
What if we did an Egyptian culture twice though, and one of them were Terminators? You know, it's just, hey.
That'd be like worst case scenario most of the time.
Well, have you seen the universe of 40K, my friend?
I mean, touche. It's a nightmare every single day.
They pulled someone out of retail and they were like, "Hey, what do you think the future looks like?" And these like just pure, unadulterated anger and rage.
I can only imagine what level of gratification they have to just wake up every day and not be eaten by a tyrannid, right? Or taken over by a chaotic demon, right? Chaos.
You know the wild thing? Statistically speaking, out of all the atrocities and devastation and war you hear, like an overwhelming percentage of like 40K Imperium, the human population, just lives a chill life farming or going to the factory and going home. Like unless you're on a hive world or on like a fringe world not defended. Like if you're in the what is it, Cementum Solar, unless you're an administratum junkie on Terra, you're just, or on Mars, don't go to Mars. You're just chilling. You're like, all right, I'm on moon base patrol, whatever, I guess. Other than that one time an orc moon showed up over the planet, that probably got pretty scary.
See, things like that, situations like that, or a warp portal just opening up next to Terra, right? I mean, that would be pretty crazy. Just saying.
Mind you, everyone take note. This 5-man event, this is important. Warp portals, combat moons, like you never know what's going to happen in your game.
Speaking of portals, subterranean portals for that matter, Tyrannids, according to my data and the factions that came in within the last day, have the largest representation at Onslaught Tampa Open with 9 factions. 9 teams representing them.
I blame you.
How do you blame me? And you're like the master synops.
This is what, because last time you were on the show, you were like, "Oh yeah, me and you, we just come, show up, get past the faction, and disappear for a few months because we're so busy." And the community took that personally.
They did.
So I'm glad. I'm glad people love playing Tyrannid. Of course, like it's great. Yeah. And I'm like, there's how many teams are there? Like 14, 12, somewhere in there?
No, there's 16.
16. I went the wrong way. It should have gone up. So 9 out of 16
not
teams.
6 teams, but 16. Yeah.
Yeah. So over half, 9 out of 16 brought Tyranid. That is an insane metric.
That is an insane metric. That tells you the value of Tyranids, right? When I saw that, I was like, I gotta tell you, of course, right? Like, you're obviously Tyranids guru.
And for full clarity here, I do not know what they are. I just know the number 9 Tyranid lists or factions. So just to be clear, don't get the wrong idea. You now know what I know.
No, that would be easy for people to see. Like on Best Coast Pairings, you can see I can have judges on there, and it shares their information.
So I just wanted to be clear. It's not, just the number 9, which is it's exciting, honestly.
Plus, I don't want to help you win anyways. Like,
you're right. I'm disappointed in the World Eater community, guys. You got to your World Eater players. They're like winning.
If you wasn't a World Eaters player, then maybe.
You're a World Eater player.
That's why it makes sense. My biases.
No, I'm excited. And also the layouts that the TL happen to chills work. All of them are great for like even the list I'm planning on bringing can work on layout too. It's a melee heavy Tyranid list. And another gentleman, I'm not going to name him or what his list is, but me and him were chatting a bit, and the list he's going to be bringing also can work really well in layout too against a gun line, just because of how many tricks and options Tyranids have to avoid getting shot out in the open.
Absolutely. No, that's nice. That's nice. Helping out and coaching the community, as always, is a wonderful thing. So this for you, sir. Let's get into it, brother. I know that's what everybody's eager to really listen to. They don't want to hear us just pander back and forth about the 40K lore and all that type of jazz, right?
Okay, if that's not why they're here, then they're new to the channel.
We have lots of nonsense for the first 25 minutes to talk about just 40K lore.
We got to get past the YouTube monetization filter before we can really get into like 40K.
Exactly. So, welcome back, everyone. We're going to walk through a little bit of the competitive details when it comes to Onslaught Tampa Open, right? This is going to be on November 1st and 2nd at the Banquet Masters in Clearwater, Florida. So it would be really nice to see a lot of you. If I don't see you this year, Regal and I don't see you this year. Hopefully we see you next year. He'll actually be playing at the event, and I will be tournament organizer. Say it again.
I said I actually get to go to this one.
I know. And enjoy yourself, man, over the weekend as well. So maybe you learn a couple of things as well, right?
Oh, I always learn.
Because, all about Onslaught Gaming, right? You've heard the phrase, right?
Yes. Nationwide is on your side.
Oh, man, we're getting hit by that now.
Look, I specifically didn't sing it in the jingle.
We're getting hit with just $50 instead of $100.
Well, there goes my ticket money. I guess I'm not going.
There goes your lunch money for the weekend, because how else are you going to eat?
Oh, okay, that's fine. I can just not eat. I've done that before. But yeah, so the first thing I think we should go over is that this is a team event. It is not a go by yourself with your army event. That is kind of the first thing to because if we don't start with that, then nothing else is going to make sense.
And what's more fun than team events? I guess winning GTs by yourself and majors?
Nope. Building bad lists aren't going to work, but can just dream about.
Are you trying to on yourself? Are you trying to poo-poo on yourself? Are we past the 2-minute marker?
No, we are. But no, I know a lot of people who do that, sir, in the community. Like, this list is awesome. I know it's terrible, but man, the theory's so good. And I'm like, oh, I feel you. I feel you there. But no, so a team event, kind of, what we alluded to with the Tyranid statistic, is that if there's 9 Tyranid factions, that means that 9 of the 16 teams brought it. And that is because when you make a team, this is a 5-man event, teams can't have more than 5 people. You have things like captains or I don't know the official term, but people help out there, bring refreshments and kind of just keep tabs on every games, to tell people. And we'll get into more why you'd want that. But there are 5 players per team. And each team can only have each faction, each codex represented one time, with two exceptions. The first exception is Space Marines. If you are a Space Marine of any flavor, either whether it is the core book of the Space Marine Codex, or say Dark Angel supplement, Space Wolf supplement, even Shadow Martalon supplement, you are still considered a Space Marine army. So the other, like, what is it now? Like 13 detachments are locked out for the rest of your team.
Yep.
And the other exception, if you want to go over, I left you the side you like, not the Imperium.
You could take Khorne Demonkin. So demons in particular, they have their own codex, right? They have their own index. No, everything has a codex now, but a detachment itself, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
If they have their own section in a codex for their own detachment, the demons themselves, with demon keywords like Blood Legion for Khorne, right? And World Leaders. You can take those detachments while only maintaining one codex. So you could take multiple demons that way. But obviously there's stipulations that you have to follow within your detachments, but you can still take, that is one of the exceptions, that you can take multiple demons.
Yep. So you could have Khorne Demonkin detachment and, Shadow Legion player playing the Chaos Demon. What you can't have is Nurglings in your Chaos Knight list and then have a Chaos Demon player. Or,
Legion
for example,
or something,
you can't have a, Custodes list having Draxus and an Imperial Knights list having a Calidus Assassin, because those are two legions keyworded. And this
Grey Knights.
Yeah. So you also with Grey Knights, but for the most part, it's not a problem. Things like Orcs, Tau, Votan, Tyranids, with the I guess GSE an exception, because GSE can take Final Day.
They can,
but that would lock Tyranids out because they're not in the GSE Codex. So whereas the demons are actually in the World Eaters Codex, GSE don't have Lictors and Trigons and Raveners in it. So that would, if you have a Final Day GSE player, that team will not be one of the 9 that has a Tyranid Codex represented.
By the way, for full clarity, all this information is public information. You can go to Best Coast Pairings. I'll go ahead and put the link. You can actually, we actually have a QR code that you can scan to go just check it out, right? And I'll do that here shortly once Rigo is speaking. But that information is open. The player packet information is also located on Best Coast Pairings, so you can see the player packet, how to purchase your ticket for the event, things like that. And all this information is on there. There's actually 17 pages of information we'll go ahead and share later. But you can go on Best Coast Pairings and you can see all these factions. You won't be able to see the list themselves, but you'll be able to see the factions that'll potentially show up that day, right? And there's a 90% possibility that those same factions will show up, but currently there's only like one GSE. There's no Thousand Suns, no Imperial Agents, a few Emperor's Children, not that many World Leaders. I want to say there was only like two or three World Leaders.
God, I hope the Fates line and they have to fight each other. Like their teams play and they compare. just guys.
All on layout 4. You just have the Thunderdome in the center of the table.
On one side, you have 180 Jackals and Gormagras. On the other side, it's just like 140 Berserkers. Go.
Yep. Absolutely. So team events, going back to this as being a 5-man team event through the NTL League. Thank you very much to the NTL League. Also to Away Games, ATC, all of them who have put all of this together or continue to kind of manage all of these team events. Thank you for the opportunity as always, and thank you for what they do. But exactly what team events are is it's an opportunity for everyone to get together, right? Like I have some individuals that are coming out to the event. They're completely new to team events. Matter of fact, they're completely new to being in public with a lot of people, right? So things like that. So they have certain doubts or certain rather worries. So just to make those individuals comfortable, this is nothing more than an excellent camaraderie between you and your pals and creating new pals, right? So you're going to get new friends, come with your friends. You're going to be able to sit down and brainstorm with your friends, figure out how to lock out a certain army from a certain layout and a certain mission. Which army or army list, rather. Let's focus it to what it is, right? What army list is better versus what army list, right? And how you want to kind of do your pairings. It's all about you guys coming together, guys and girls, rather, coming together and just having a great time, strategizing, trying to win as a team, and building individual accolades as well, right? So come out, have a great time. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a wonderful show. There's gonna be amazing prizes, cash prizes, wonderful trophies, giveaways. Matter of fact, I shout out to War Games FX, a great sponsor of mine as well. Throughout all of my events, he's gonna send me some mats. If you've ever seen those IR mats where you can actually set up your tables, I'm gonna be able to give away some of those, some Baron of Dice. So there's always things when you come to an Onslaught event that you're always going to win and get a lot of prizes. And that's really what it's about. Coming out to a team event, having a great time with your team, getting prizes, and leaving with memories, right? How do you feel about that, Rigo? Like, can you expound on that kind of,
Oh, absolutely.
Tell the people what you feel about it.
So, what, I talk a lot about Crucible.
Yes, hold on. Before you get started, yes. So, yeah, there's a swap meet. So me and Onslaught and Almost Functional, we partnered together basically to put a great opportunity out for the community on Friday night. So it's going to be on Halloween. There's going to be a Halloween costume contest. There's going to be candies. There's going to be trophies. Trophies sponsored by NerdCon. So shout out to NerdCon, the convention that I'm actually going to be doing this event at. Shout out to NerdCon, wonderful gentleman. He's going to give us like 5 trophies for different categories. There's going to be a swap meet there as well, so you can come and bring your extra Warhammer 40K stuff, whatever miniatures, Reapers, whatever things you might have. You can rent out tables, go on the website to do all that on nerdcontampa.com. I'll put the information here once Regal starts speaking, so then you can get all of that as well.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. Especially that
swap
meet with a little something extra.
Yep.
As for the team events, they're my favorite to go to. I love team events. They are just so much fun. 40K is largely, single game that you play as a part of a community. But, that community is, 3.5 hours, you and the guy across the table from you. You got like maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes between matches before you got to get to your next table on lunch break. But in teams, you have as soon as your game's done, you and your, the friends that you came with come together and can trade cool stories, can be like, oh man, I had like 6 4-ups and I rolled 5 1s and a 2, and what even is that? Or, oh, I had 3 saves where I died and I just balled out and rolled all 6s. It's great. It's a good time. You hear the good, the bad, you laugh. Some people cry. It's me. I'm some people. It's a lot of fun. And it's fun to, like I said, there's nine other Tyranny players. It's cool to see what other people in the community are doing with the faction that I hold dear, because I have my way of playing things I like, and there are people who use units I don't even look at. Like, I know they exist, and I'm like, that's not going to work for my plan. And they base their entire, like, I know a wonderful Tyranny player that I see at most events I go to, and they love the Von Ryan Leapers, and I never understood. Didn't understand. Like, I see the point, but I just not my play style. There's other people who swear by, Monster Mash, other people who run Hordes. And, I'm sure the same is true for your factions, like World Eaters. We were joking, but, like, I'd be willing to bet that these World Eaters players, there's a solid, like, 500-600 points of difference, if not more, just because for as, elite as that codex is, there are choices you can make. Demon Prince, no Demon Prince, how many Exalted, Forge Fiends or not. Are you running, the bricks of Berserkers? Are they 10 or 20? What's leading them? Is there a Rhino for them? So there's, even like that, there's nuance. So one Grey Knight list might be MSU, little 5-man squads everywhere. Another list might be like, cool, here's my 30 Terminators and Land Raider. Good luck.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see. You know, the last team event I went to, a very good buddy of ours, Anime Squirrel, there was a Tau player just ripping through the event. Like, not only was he the
doing
best,
it really well right now. Tao's doing it really good.
And that's the other, you know, thank you for that segue, General Slaughter. There is
6. They have 6 like represented.
Good luck to that's gonna be tough competition for them.
Yep.
But no, that's a good segue into, you know, teams is also an amazing thing where you can tailor a list to where, as in like Crucible or other GTs or even RTTs, you just face what you face. So you got paired into the waves of GSC that never die, or you're you know, an army that's really good at killing Marines, but like you're facing War Dog spam. You don't know what to do. In teams, you can just look at them and be like, that I can face any of them, but that one I don't want to fight that one. So where, you know, you were saying that, yeah, you can kind of lock someone out. You could also remove yourself, say, hey, there's 5 of us. You 4 handle that one problem and figure it out, and throw me at anything else. Yep. And there is more nuance than that, but that is just something you don't get in singles. If I'm at an RTT or a GT and the TOs and pairings are up and oops, I'm on layout 2 against Tau, I can't go and say, hey, I don't want to fight them.
That's what you get. Yeah. Yeah. At least in a team event, you can manipulate that, right? And that's what I want people to understand. Like you're saying, people can manipulate that. Hey, real quick, right here, you can go ahead and scan, right? If you want to go ahead and go to NerdCon, you can find the information, the flyer that I created on there for the Almost Functional event on Friday, on Halloween Day. You can purchase tickets for the tables that you can rent out. You can also buy your tickets for the team event on there as well. Check out all the information. There's a lot of things going on at that convention. So go ahead and scan that with your phone or whatever. And yeah, hopefully I see you there. We both see you there.
Absolutely. So going on from that, getting into
8:30, matter of fact. So to tell everybody, right, 8:30, I'll see you there Saturday at 8:30 for the captain's meeting.
You're getting ahead of me. I was going to say, let's get into what it's actually going to look like for him. So yeah, Saturday there is one, or I guess I didn't have to, but normally one of the 5 people playing is the captain of the team, and they're the one who does what's known as pairings. That's what we were talking about, where you have some agency in choosing your matches, the terrain you want to be on, because also there's more than 1 terrain layout. There's even more than 2 terrain layouts. You want to give the people an overview of what they're going to be walking into as far as terrain is concerned.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I could show a picture to everybody real quick so you can see exactly what's going to be at the event.
And where did you get this high quality detailed picture from? What this looks, you know, like is useful if anyone wants to find it.
So this is my player packet. You can actually find that on NerdCon. So the QR code, you can find that on there as well. Go to the team tournament section and you'll be able to download this entire packet. So you'll be able to find this information where you'll see the layouts currently. So, and this is going to be in an order where tables 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be layouts 1, 2, 4, 6, and 1. Right. So, and you'll have the option, and Regal will kind of break this down a lot more because he has more of a player experience when it comes to this. And he's a wonderful captain. Don't let him fool you. And let him be humble. He's a wonderful captain. So if you ever need a captain, let him know. All right, I had to do that to you. But
I wasn't going to say it. It sounds like ego if I say it.
Exactly. But he is a wonderful captain. He really is. Listen, when your coach can help you win a championship, that's a wonderful coach. Just say it. Just say it. So layout 1, 2, 4, 6, and 1. You're going to be able to have these options to select your missions throughout the event. And this will be the wonderful terrain there. This will be the Onslaught set of castle terrain. And then we have a cathedral set as well. But you can find this player packet online. Make sure to read it for yourself. Check out all the information. We're going to detail a lot of it here today on the show. But just to give you a little quick synopsis of what that's all about. Why are you laughing? What happened?
No.
Who did it? Just ignore the continuous complaining about getting stuck on person. Listen, he called me. Ironically, he called me yesterday, and that was one of the things he had to mention.
At this point, it's a character trait. Like if I don't do it, I'm being disingenuous to the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you bring that?
So
I wanted
now,
to.
for those of you listening and are nefarious, use that against him. Try to get him on the worst layouts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I've only lost one competitive match on Purge the Foe, so like I don't know if I'll complain about it a lot, but that complaining keeps me in top shape to play it. Probably get you face. No, that's So can you bring that back up? I wanted to get into something real quick to give people an idea of pairing. So I don't want them to think that because there's something that we kind of glossed over that I want to bring up next.
Yeah, brother.
Can you bring the packet back up and go back up to the tables?
Oh yeah, of course. Back to the tables. Here we go. So cathedrals on the back castle here.
So you'll see that next to go back. I'm talking about the layout text, layout where it says layout, and then next to it there are letters.
Yes.
So you'll see each table has 2 missions listed. Part of the pairing process is, and again, unlike a GT or RTT, you're not all playing the same mission either. Each table comes with its own brand of missions that are, different layout, different objectives layout depending on the mission you're playing, different objectives to score. And as Recon pointed out, Purge the Foe is on one of these tables. I thought count 2 of them, I think, but one of them for sure, because that's the table I'm avoiding like the plague. Because as I get paid to do, I'm going to complain about not playing Purge the Foe. But so you might look at this and think, oh, what do you mean, B and D? So how pairings works is you sit down, your captain sits down, rather, and, they choose a defender to go out, and that defender gets to pick the table they want.
Yep.
And then say I'm your opponent, the opposing captain would get to put 2 attackers out from the 3 people I have left, because I also put out a defender. We roll dice. Whoever gets the higher number gets to choose table first. So what we would do is say you win the die roll off. You say, okay, my first defender was Tau. We want layout 4. Well, then whoever that you pick to go into your Tau and layout 4 gets to pick one of those 2 missions.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is detailed out. And again, I'm skipping over some steps and some stuff that's in there. But just to give you a broad view, it's not centered to, they get to pick who they want to fight and the table they want to fight on, and we got to play this mission. There is some tug between, attacker advantage and defender advantage.
So there is some strategizing in the beginning, right? You're going to talk things over. You're going to be able to see the factions that you're going to oppose, right, or play with when you're doing the team thing. So you're going to be able to see that, and then you're going to be able to turn around and talk to your teammates and say, listen, what do you want to go into? What are you stronger into? Or if you've already had this conversation, which would be so advantageous to you if you came prepared, at least partially prepared, maybe the day before, come in there and just say, hey, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, jump on a Discord or something and talk about it real quickly. But once you choose all that, right, after a roll-off, you simply just team that want to roll off chooses layout. Opposing team chooses the mission. And if you want to continue on, Regal, basically this is simply, right, kind of broken down how this is right here and kind of doing everything like you were saying.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too detailed into it because they can read it and hear it and see it themselves and talk to more experienced people because there is quite a bit of strategy just in this process. But the short of it is, as you're doing it or your captain's doing it, there is always a constant thought of, I can go into them, but they get to pick the terrain, but I get to pick the mission we get to play. And
right.
So there is that.
Yeah, so you alternate, and then on 4, you end up alternating. So yeah, it changes a little bit. But if also, just so everyone reads this, clarification, right? If you go to the bulleted areas where it talks about pairings, that's the simple bulleted areas. It's like when you read 40K information and it gives you the paragraph and then it has a bulleted area. This is essentially that, all right? All the steps is like your paragraph and the pairings is your bulleted area. So if you want to learn it real quickly and just talk it out with your teammates, just go to the pairing sections. But if you want to learn it in depth as a coach, right, as a captain, read the steps out so you understand everything, how it completely works.
Yeah. Also, feel free to message me, through the Onslaught Facebook or Discord. I'll be more than happy to sit down and,
Please
explain.
bug him.
Yeah, on a discount. Oh, what up, Clay?
What's up, brother? Much love. Hell yeah.
Clay is quite famous in my book as being one of the few people who I have yet to beat in like multiple matches. He has whipped me every time we've played, and all the props to him. He's a great player, but man, I got to get a win in.
Listen, Clay is a man of my. He's a man of my heart. No, he's a wonderful individual. Shout out to Clay. Clay and Kurt are actually part of Almost Functional Club as well. So shout out to the entire club. Love you guys. Can't wait to see them and the whole crew at the team event. But go ahead, Rigo. I know I interrupted. I like to do, talk
yeah, that's
people.
fine. I was just letting people know that there is, for some of the new people who watch this or are watching or will look at it before the event, that it isn't, super like just because you get to pick your layout. Like if someone picks layout 1 that has Purge the Foe on it and picks I'm gonna go into them, I can just pick not Purge the Foe of the mission, depending on the army they have.
Well, that's also it's a little bit more complex than that. What did you say?
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm giving a very simple breakdown. Read the packet or message me, ask me. You can message him, but like he has, 16 times 5. Do the math. That many people potentially. He'll get to you, but it might be Friday morning or Saturday morning.
Exactly, Saturday morning. Just tell you in the captain's meeting. Just
exactly.
bring it in your notes. Put it in your notes and talk to me captain's meeting. That's it. Simple as that.
You're going to have like a 45-minute captain meeting. What are you doing? Every captain's going to come in with like a freaking clipboard and be like, you did this. But
that's
no,
right.
So there is a lot of agency in choosing your matchup, your layout. And some people do specifically design. They say, this is layout 2. It's take on all comers or skewed to take advantage of that terrain and either of the missions on it. Put me on it every time, and I promise you it'll at least be a draw, if not a blowout.
Well, hold on. I got to go back to what you were talking about before, the whole coaching pairing thing, right? Like, and you were trying to be simplistic. Real quickly, just to let everyone know, like, you could be a coach, you can be a good coach or captain, and you can still be out-coached or captained. Meaning that you can end up not getting the layout maybe your teammate needs, right? Or wants. So that might not always be the situation. Like, I don't know. I think in the experience that I have in all the team events that I've actually played in, right? Rather ran, because I've ran way more than I've actually played in. But playing in them, like, I feel like someone is always going to jump on that grenade. There's always someone that's jumping on the grenade or taking the back 40. Right? Or someone that just needs to make it even where you're not going to get dunked on 20-0, something like that, or 20-0 rather. So
you said you're going to go backward, but you're actually going forward. So the next thing I was going to mention is roles on a team, and like using my example, if you have someone that's like, I want the shooting lane. Well, maybe you're going into a team that also has, mechanized guard who wants the shooting lane, and oops, they run the roll off, so they get it. So now you could have someone who is hey, I can't get big wins, but I can blunt them. They're looking for a 20-0, a 17-3. I'll give them a 12-8. That was actually my first team event, my job. I was the captain. I gave it to myself. And I said, look, I can get small wins, but I'll also get small losses. And my best showing was against Thousand Suns when they were indexed and unnerfed. And he told, great player, this is not a slight against him. He told his captain he'd be 17-3 if he got me. I said, we'll see. It ended up being a 13-7. Stole 14 points from him.
Wow.
And that actually, I believe we won that round, and it was like 2 or 3 points away from a draw. So had he got that score, they'd have actually won that round.
Do you want to also explain, or would you like me to elaborate on the scoring and exactly how that works, since you just mentioned the 13-7?
I was just about to say, do you want to explain differential versus like 0 to 100 singles? See, we got this. We're getting it.
It's almost like we've done this show together.
Don't lie to the people. But yeah, explain. It's called differential scoring, which you're gonna hear people calling it, and we'll be informed of what that is.
Listen, I can show you better than I can tell you, and it's right here, right? So everyone can visualize this. A lot of people are visual learners. A lot of people are not, right? Like I'm a visual learner, and let me zoom in a little bit. So this is your VP, player points, opponent points, right? If there's a difference of 5 points, so you get a 10. If there's only a difference of between 5 points, you get a draw. So difference of 6 to 10 points, you end up taking 11 and 9, and so forth, right? You want to be in this realm. Or as I like to say, Regal, you better stay in this realm.
Ideally, you want to be 6 points and up, especially now that challenger cards are a thing. You being 6 points has no downside; it's all upside.
Yep.
And preferably, your captain would love you if you could stay 31 points or higher up.
100%. That's a great game. Obviously, since the meta, everything's a little, it's changed a little bit. You're probably going to look around this field, right? Most people, and then the people who have like the disparity between skill levels, then you're going to see the higher numbers over here.
And I will also just throw in that, as you were saying, there are, like all events, there are people of all player levels that are coming. There are some teams who, do this, professionally, or even as an annual hobbyists go to 3-4 events a month. So they started setting up for this 3 months ago. They got the perfect team comp together, fidgeting with the meta. They're like, they got every base covered. And then there's some people who, are meeting 5 strangers and be like, hey, we wanted to go, but didn't have anyone. So we're a mercenary team. Yep. So as, Lewis said, do not take it personally if your team gets blown out 20-0. It's not you. It's not them. It's as if you went to play a game with your best list and got, 100 to 20. It's fine. Not a statement about anyone in particular. It's just how the game goes.
Yeah, and don't feel like, I don't care who the captain is, at least for me, and I hope you have this stance as well, no matter who you are. Don't allow the captain or anything that if you take a loss or you're not performing well over the weekend, right? There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of cogs in that watch, right? That makes things function. Go ahead, brother.
I was going to say, and there's in teams, there's a different definition to taking a loss or not performing well. Actually, at I believe it was at the 8-man event last year in 2024, we had a player who went up against one of the best players in Florida and got a 19-1. He got 1 differential point against him. And we had people who went 19-1 on our team and even got a draw that was supposed to be a blowout loss. But he was the hero of the team. Like the 7 of us unanimously were like, how did you even get 1 against them? And he was like, guys, I lost so bad. We're like, no, that's so good. Like they were counting on a 20 and you gave a 19.
Yep.
And it was so losing takes on a different dimension versus singles where, oops, I got 60, but you got 61. I lost.
And also a different mentality as well, right? Because that mentality you go into there is like, I don't care about losing, just keep it close.
Yep. Some people's job, rather than first attacker, some people's job is the other end of the spectrum. It's like you said, their job to lose, jump on the grenade, but minimize the damage that grenade does. So like if they have a team that's meant, or like an Eldar army that's meant to get 20, they're the big winner, and you come in with your, I don't know, Imperial agents with feel no pains, or freaking 160 Kriegsmen with feel no pains and invulns and regenerating. Suddenly,
recon detachment, yay!
Looks a lot more like 10. It's like, oh hey, at 20-0 is, and that's on the captain to see that and say, hey, you're not gonna do great, but your job is to make sure they do less great, and that's a win. Like that is.
It's a team. It's a team at the end of the day.
Yep, that is. So I just wanted to clarify on like what losing is, like not performing well. That's more of a headspace because like to me, I'm going with, not even on my team, but a bunch of people I know and like are going to be there on their own teams. So there's going to be a bunch of like inner team, camaraderie. Like Kurt said, Kurt's going to be there. I haven't seen Kurt in like a year. I think it's been so long. This man is just, we're never at the same events. But I'm excited to see him there.
Pro beer drinking.
That is known to happen at some 40K events, yes.
That is a sport. It is a sport.
Yep. So, it's a good time. It's fun. It's
It is. It really is.
Aside from the main,
don't let it discourage you. Yeah,
the main friendship and just camaraderie part of it. There is also the agency, right? The going in, because you can also hunt other armies. You can say, hey, if we do face that guard army, boy, am I ready. Yep. I have the things. My custodians with sustained hits, crit 5, reroll hits. Let them touch an objective. I'll mulch 40 of them without even trying. Like you could just say that. Like, don't put me into Knights or Chaos Knights, but put me into the Hordes, and I'll get rid of them for you, Captain. That's part of the fun.
Before we move on to the next section, we got to pay the bills real quick. All right, my peoples. Matter of fact, this is going to be one of our
times.
This is going to be actually one of our participants at the event. Hopefully, you have the opportunity to talk to him about all of his wonderful props, trophies, and other things that he does. So check out Big Bear and Big Bear 3D. We'll be right back. Welcome to Big Bear 3D, your ultimate destination for top quality terrain and weapon props. Whether you're setting the stage for your next epic battle or enhancing your collection, Big Bear 3D has you covered. Don't forget to scan the QR code to explore our full range and bring the event home with you. Happy gaming! Big Bear 3D is excited to collaborate with Away Games, bringing top-tier competitive experiences to events across North America with our adaptable, modular event tables. The Away Games event table, official for the American Team Championship and standard for the National Tabletop League, can now bring the event home. Pick up the Away Games 2024 event table to replicate any layout featured in ATC or NTL circuit events. Big Bear 3D is thrilled to offer sci-fi weapon props and raw part kits, printed in PLA plastic with all necessary assembly hardware included. We've also partnered with Hobby Goblins to provide assembled and painted prop kits for our customers. And don't forget, bring the event home with you.
His stuff is really cool.
It is. Love his props. Wonderful to see him at Crucible with Creality. That was a wonderful sponsorship as well. So go check out Big Bear. Go check out his website. He has a plethora of wonderful things. Actually, he's going to be one of those out of 9 people bringing bugs.
Last year, his bug army was so cool. So I'm a huge fan.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful army. So let's get into the nitty gritty. I know everybody wants to talk about these in particular. They want to hear about the strategies, right? What Onslaught 40K wants to bring to people, the education, the understanding, right? So with that being said, let's talk about in particular the first mission, right? So mission 1, Scorched Earth Layout A, right? So number 4, Regal. This mission appears 3 times throughout the event. The reason is simple. It's just more skill testing mission for the objective pressure and denial. Also rewards you for early board presence and sustained control. So if you want to elaborate on that a little bit or your thoughts on that, right? But that's just kind of what I wanted to share with the people. Give them a little synopsis.
This is actually one that I like. It complements my playstyle. Like you said, early board presence and pressure really does help this because it might, you can play this as like a late game thing to burn. But honestly, if you burn their, if you jail them, so to speak, quote unquote, and you burn their expansion on turn, 3, because you start on turn 2 and end on their turn 2 or turn 3, depending on, then they got to come to at least the middle to hold and score, or even your expansion. Now that is not easy, but there are armies that are known for either jailing style play styles or even, just heavy pressure up in their face and do it. And yeah, as you said, sustained control, things like, what is it? The Great Unclean One demons, the Nurgle Legion, where strength is higher than -1 to wound, or even just the demonic incursion with the Endless Gift, 4-up Fennel Pain, and Rotigus. couple of beasts of Nurgle, and suddenly it gets real hard to shift them. They'll be there for a turn or two.
Yeah, no, it's true. And it almost forces you, right? Like the mission forces you to want to do that if you have a good understanding. And this is why we're letting everyone know today, right?
Yep.
Do that. Make sure to apply that pressure, all right? And make those denials, right? If you have to trade units, whatever it might be, try to be the solid foundation and where you're holding and controlling the entire board. This is really about board presence, like we said earlier, right? And so, and like Regal say, with the sustained control. So you want to sustain that. You want to position. You want to be in the right places, and having the right pressure at the right moments too, right? You want to have that right cadence, that right, like I like to say, either cadence or tune, right? That song that you're singing, you just want to make sure that it works well for you.
So, the language you may have heard other people use is tempo.
Yeah, tempo. I know I'm ex-military, so cadence, right?
Yeah, but it's all the same thing. You want to make sure you're, to your user, the rhythm of the game is going according to your song, not your opponent's.
Absolutely, it is the tempo, and I love that. Yep.
Because the other thing here is if they have bottom of turn and you run out of gas, they can burn. You cannot burn your home. They can burn your home, and that's worth double burning any of the no man's land. So let's say you run out of gas, and they score some secondaries and burn your home. Well, it's like they burn two of the middle ones anyway. And if they do it on turn 5, they can sequence it to where they held it for primary, because holding still matters aside from burning. You can hold for 10, and then burning is either 5 or 10 points if you burn your opponent's deployment zone objective, 5 for each individual nomads.
Which is big. And if you're going second, you want to do that. You want to burn your opponent's DZ, right?
Yep.
Burn it. Get them extra points. I mean, that's going to swing. That can be the difference of 25 points in battle round 5. It gets crazy.
Hold yours. You hold yours. You hold theirs. That's 10. You burn theirs. That's 10 more. That's 20 points on primary. That's the same as if you held and burned twice in no man's land. So tempo is very important.
Secondaries.
Yep. Just holding them back for 3.5 turns, and they still do that. That might be enough to come back, depending on what secondaries look like or how soon they got up to start holding.
Absolutely. Because they're in the late game.
Yep. So there is a lot of, it's not just about that early pressure and board control. It's making sure you can hold it long enough and keep them far back enough to not claw victory back, because it is possible.
Yep. Also on this layout 1, expect there to be more open mid-board lanes, right? So in the mid-board, you're going to see more lanes. Shooty armies are going to gain early pressure advantages. Make sure that when you're deploying, you're hiding your stuff. Excuse me. Make sure that you're hiding your stuff. My wife made some wonderful chicken, like a chicken casserole, sorry. And I ate some of that. But make sure that you're positioning, right? You're deploying properly at the beginning of the game, because it's going to be critical for you on layout 1. It really is. And melee, I mean, you can stage in like the house, the L's on layout 1 and things like that. So you can have some counter punches for turn 2, but you're really going to have to stage and put yourself in a position to do those things for melee armies. You want to talk about the strong picks and the counter picks and things like that, brother? Some great information there.
Yeah, no. So the thing about this, the strong picks, Imperial Guard, Iron Hands, Craft Worlds, shooting, is because it is an action that doesn't complete till the end of your opponent's turn. So they will get a say to respond. Another thing is it is an action. So they, like, if you get cleanse, or your plan is, I'm going to bring a list that has, like cleanse and engage on all fronts. Well, now you have to like do 3 actions a turn to get your points. And it's just, it can get a bit heavy. So maybe that's the thing where you say, hey, I don't want that table, or I want to be an attacker on that table, so I could pick the other option potentially, depending on what it is. But so shooting is very good, because if someone's like, oh, I'm going to just burn the center, you could, say if your Iron Hands, just throw out a combi lieutenant who's a low knob to sit on it. And your opponent's like, oh, haha, I have like 6 OC, you're 1 OC, doesn't matter. And you're like, cool, anyway, here's 2 Vindicators. And now you have 1 OC and they have 0. They're not burning it anymore. And so it can get very trade heavy, because if you and your opponent are both not playing an early pressure jail style list, then it is just going to be back and forth, and it's going to be who runs out of enough stuff first, or who undercommits and oops, that thing that was burning lived, and now they might actually go through, depending on the OC situation. So, and there's a ton of tricks. We can't go through them all right now. Like, that could be an entire episode on itself. But like, Heroic interventions, for example, if you think, oh, I'll just get on there and do this, and you're like, oh, here's my reactive move, or you have the charge to get on, so all heroic can still put more OC on it.
Yep.
Now, suddenly your plan didn't work, and just cost them a CP or a data sheet ability. So there's multiple angles to think about it from, but the core of it is, find something that can threaten consistently. Because if all your threat is front-loaded, or like if you're playing Caillou and Tau, I also would not suggest that army on this. Because if you're going to give up turns 1 and 2 of being a threat, you're probably going to fall behind the primary, especially on Scorched Earth. If you're playing Mont Katau, depending on the list you got built, how many Krutox Riders you got in there, you might be set up real good for this. Because your opponent can't come out until turn 4, and even then you got your melee threats and assumedly some guns left to still hold them off. So... but World Eaters are real good as well because, funnily enough, Goremongers and Chaos Spawn and World Eaters are the most annoying things to commit to dealing with.
Yeah, it is.
Jacko's also sticky objectives, which we haven't really talked about much, but sticking... There's an echo. But sticking can be very valuable just because of that primary thing. Like, if someone just says, oh, I'll shoot you off, you go, cool. I still get my 10 for a primary because it's stickied.
Yep.
So
just to recap it, right? Because we have 6 other more to go on, but make sure to write this down. Write this down. For those of you who are listening, this is very important. For those of you who think you understand this, who don't think you understand this, right? Pay attention. For Scorched Earth, layout 1, layout A. So layout 1 in particular. For this one, you want to make sure that you understand it's an open board lanes, right? Strong picks for these boards are Imperial Guard, Iron Hands, Craft Worlds, or Eldari. Counter picks are World Eaters with a lot of 8-bound and GSC with like ambush lists and things like that. That way you start effectively looking at your factions on your team, right? And kind of hand selecting and picking those out. Moving on to mission number 2. Talk to me, bro. Talk to us.
I just want to point out a dark horse pick for this specific mission and board.
Yep.
Imperial Knights, the Gate Warden Lance. The Gate Warden's one where you draw a line between 2 objectives, and if you're on the line, you get a bunch of bonuses. Yeah. Because every time an objective is removed, you get to redraw your line. And Big Knights, super heavy walkers, can action and still shoot.
Yes.
So that one could actually be, like I said, it's a dark horse pick. You would have to go in with that specific strategy, but if your opponent isn't ready for it, suddenly they're getting hit with like sustain 2s and just all bunch of stuff they were not planning on.
And still doing an action scorching of
the
objective.
Also, triple, what are they called? The double Gatling Chaos Knights. Not Rampager.
I forgot their name too, yeah.
Yeah, but triple Infernal Lance, that also very strong on layout 1 this mission because, again, they can shoot both those Gatling cannons and still burn.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
So break it down for us for Vital Ground layout C. What's that? Layout 2? Yeah, layout 2 rather. Mission C.
Yep. Mission C on layout 2. Yep. So Vital Ground. This punishes passive play where each turn score escalates based on holding objectives on your opponent's half. So it rewards armies with durable midboard anchors. And the layout, which is layout 2, heavily benefits elite armies with staying power, such as Custodes, Necrons, Death Guard. And shooting lists struggle if they can't get basically on their, I call it, on your opponent's lawn.
That's
you draw a line at the 30-inch line or wherever the middle is for your deployment, and you say, that's your lawn, this is my lawn. Stay off my lawn, I'm going to go on your lawn.
Yep. And unless you get onto that lawn, you can't really effectively shoot that well, too.
Yep.
There's still shooting lanes. Like, don't get it twisted. The entire event, all of these missions are shooting missions predominantly. There is no 7 to 8. So it's predominantly shooting missions.
And the thing, like I said, with the heavy staying power, Custodes, Necrons, Death Guard, Grey Knight Terminator spam, 30 Wolf Guard, for example, and with 18 Thunder Cav. Things like this.
Yes.
And not necessarily, ironically, not Knights on this one, because Knights are actually very shootable, because if they want to shoot you, they got to touch a terrain piece.
Yep.
So, and also I really want to focus on
Necrons.
Necron.
Touch grass, as we like to say, right? They got to come out and touch grass.
Well, Necrons is actually a very relevant one, particularly Canoptic Court, because if they can hold their half and get on your half, not only are they scoring, they got their Canoptic Grid up, and Necrons can just like put partly in front of a wall, die a little bit if you shoot them, and then regrow to score it again and get their grid back up in the command phase. So anything, Necrons is the most abusive of it, but anything that can respawn stuff, various guard lists that can bring back D3 models, Tyranids with a Tervagon and Termagant spam can bring them back plentifully. That's also another trick that you can, I don't want to use the word abuse, but a strategy, as this channel likes to say, you can take advantage of to put your finger on the scale of your chances of victory.
I like that.
I thought that was for you.
I appreciate that. So moving on to layout 3, mission B, which is supply drop, right? So on supply drop, it's a swing mission, late game, random objectives, forcing mobility and secondary planning. Let me repeat that. It's a swing mission, all right? It's late game, random objectives. It forces you to be more mobile.
Almost.
And
I want to put I want to put an asterisk on the random objectives. It's only random whether your expansion or your opponent's expansion disappears on turn 4.
Correct.
On turn 5, only the center is left every time. So you know where you need to end the game. So that much is stable. But which one goes first is randomized.
And secondary planning. So that's another important thing, right? So armies that are likely better on this one, it can help you out. Hold those objectives if you do have to, right? It says random in the sense of they're all random, so you don't know definitively which one it's going to be at the end. Yeah. So you want to get units that are mobile, right? Armies that are like Trakari, Eldar, Raven Guard, things that are very fast, that can get there very quick, just in case you have infected on one side of an expansion and you need to flip to the other expansion, the other side of the table board, right? So gun lines risk being out position here once the supply objectives shift. So you can find yourself in a lot of situations. I found myself also with world leaders holding objectives, positioning myself in one place, and then I'm just standing there with my birthday suit on in the wind. So bad times. You all right, brother? You need some water over there, man?
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
We don't need you croaking on the show. Please, somebody donate, man, so this man can get some water.
I breathed wrong, which I know sounds like asthma, but I'm just really bad at existence. That's all it is. That's all that is. But no, supply drop. If you're gonna practice any mission,
stealing oxygen.
Even if you don't think you're gonna play supply drop, this is the mission I suggest everyone practice, because it is very, even though before the game starts, well, before the first turn commences, I should say, which objective is disappearing first. You still have to get used to, I'm either going to or not going to have 8 points available to me. And honestly, I suggest not playing at random. I'd say if you play a few where you just say, mine's going to go away like this game and next game, and then play the next one. Say, hey, do you mind if yours goes away? I want to practice with the advantage with, just to get, because you don't know. And it's good to have it, a game. I like to practice how I play. So I like to practice both on the back foot.
He's saying practice, not at the event, okay?
Yeah, let's say if you're going to do any practice before next Saturday.
Yeah.
Because like we said, you don't always get to, if you pick your table, your opponent might pick supply drop, and now you're stuck with it.
Yep.
And you might say, I'm not going to get on a table with supply drop. Well, maybe they outpick your team and you're the 5th person stuck with it. You don't, there's things happen. So just, this is, like you said, the swingiest mission, even though GW has taken measures to really lower the swinginess of it. By the nature of how it works, it's always going to have some level of it, which is good. We're playing a dice game. It's fine to have dice involved in the mission itself.
Yep.
That's one of those opinions I have.
So going on to your favorite one. So just to recap that one as well, right? That was mission B, layout 3, supply drop, right? Supply drop, like Regal was saying, it's a swing mission, late game. Potentially, you want to have
exactly this.
It's very easy to turn a 12 to 18 to a 10-10 if you aren't careful. Absolutely. 100%. This mission will do that to you. Thank you for pointing that out. Yep. And Regal's favorite mission is next. So this is an
did-
opportunity for Caesar to troll you a little bit more.
So this is Purge the Foe, and oh my god, this is 8th edition, the mission, basically.
Yep.
This is kill and hold, and then kill more, hold more. So if you hold one objective, your home counts, you get 5 points, and if you hold more in your command phase, or at the end of turn 5, if you're going second, you get or 4 points. You get an extra 4 for a total of 8. But like Billy May said, but wait, there's more. If you kill a unit, you get 4 points. This is the only mission you can score primary on turn 1, because if you kill something turn 1, you get the 4 points. Kill more, which is what it sounds like at the end of the battle round, so both players get their turns. Whoever killed more units gets the additional 4 points. So for a total of 8 there, for a possible 16 primary in a single turn.
Yeah.
We both clicked it.
Double click.
Struggle Bus, what army do you play? I'm professionally curious. Because there's only a few armies that act like Purge actively hurts.
Yeah, like Tyranids.
And Sisters, who want to die for Miracle Dice.
Exactly.
But so it's hold more, kill more is the colloquial short term for it. And basically most armies, because 40k is pretty balanced, I will give GW the credit. 10th is in a really good place.
Yeah.
Most armies excel at one of those. Yeah. Most armies can skew towards kill more, or kill more or hold more. Very few armies can effectively do both and do both all game. Some armies can do both early, but like we talked about with Scourge, they run out late game and then all of a sudden it flips on them. They got a 16 and a 12, and now their opponent got a 12, 16, 16, and they win.
Yep.
So this is, as much as it is like a back and forth attrition, it's also a endurance test of how many things do you have to go sit on objectives, how many things do you want to go kill, is your killer unit sitting on an objective? Our captain's aiming to put their 20-0 into a Purge or a 10-10 matchup. That is army and captain dependent.
It ain't even that simple. Yeah, it's not even army dependent, it's list dependent.
Because I was gonna say, if I was the captain and had him on my team, with how I would throw him into Purge every time, no question. I'm like, just get to it. You could not tell this man not to attack on turn 1.
But also, see, okay, to answer MTG, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not all about the faction. It's deeper than that. It's not even all about the army list. It's sometimes about the play style that person is, right? Because you have to be able. First of all, you have to have units that can trade efficiently, right? And then you got to deny objective markers, which world leaders do very well, right? Yeah. World leaders will deny objectives, sticky in things like that. So armies that sticky can do that on death, like world leaders is very strong when it comes to missions like this. So this is why Regal is saying but it's also predicated sometimes on that play style. I'm just trying to educate everybody. This is not as simple as you think it is. It's more complex. This is why those those people who win at the super majors, because they think on a different level of complexity, right? There are multiple levels on this, rather than just lists. How do I deal with my meta? What units am I using in my core list to deal with this, right? So whatever skewed list you're using, right, or whatever faction or army list you're building, if it's something like world leaders, can absolutely be very strong here. Inferno lands, right? Like I wouldn't consider all of Chaos Knights, but Inferno lands.
I was just going to say that I don't know him personally, but looking at his run, the gentleman who just won the RTT in Brooksville with that guy, I would throw him on it. Just like, hey, go get him. Do it. Yep. So it's I would say for any captains or people questioning what a captain, for their captains, has maybe a new captain or something, your teammates' play style is more important than even the army they're playing.
Yep.
Because I know people who play naturally aggressive armies, but they themselves are very timid players, and so it's this thing where they're not leveraging the advantage they should have. I also know players who are playing very patient, tradey armies and just shoving it in your face turn 2 and then having nothing by turn 4 and wondering where they went wrong. So,
And going back to what Regal said earlier, too, Terminator, Space Wolf Terminators are D1 in this. They're amazing in this, right? As long as you're not losing trash units more than you're losing Terminators, right? Or in return, because you shouldn't be losing Terminators. This is where you're putting basically your Terminators on the front forward. If you're doing anything, holding objectives, and like kill them, try to kill them, because it's going to be so much harder to get Purge the Foe with them than it is with like a Jackals unit in a World Eater's army, right?
Yep.
So you got to make sure that you're trading using units to trade off. It's not all about, oh, it's good to have trade units. It's also like what units are better to trade off, or what units are not better to trade off that are survive a little bit longer, because there's two ways. There's multiple ways to really play this mission, but there are only really two paths to do it, right? You're either going to be you're going to be able to trade and be aggressive and hold objectives, or you're going to be a D1 army, sit on objectives and hold it all game long, right? So you got to make sure you understand that as well. And Custodes are really good at that as well. That
also comes back to the thing of like we said about the mission itself, is where most armies are good at one of the two things you want to do.
Yep. It
so,
is. Yeah.
Like Necrons can be very good at killing and holding, but very few Necron lists can do both simultaneously. So yeah, but some exceptionally good armies. We already mentioned Infernal Lance, Chaos Knights, very aggressive, very forward-facing Chaos Knights, especially Infernal Lance, very good at this, just by nature of their durability and killability. Tau are also very good because Riptides are insane to get through, and their mobility with some of their suits can come kill you off them very simply, and are not, nothing like World Eater Chaos Spawn will not kill a 3-man suit unit in Commander. It might drag down 1, maybe 2 suits, but that's not a kill.
Yeah.
That's part of a unit. Adeptus Custodes are okay depending on their matchup. The thing about Custodes to watch for, though, is if your opponent, like Tau or Chaos Knights, can threaten a Warden unit. Chaos Knights more than Tau, but they can threaten them either 2 turns in a row or in multiple phases in the same turn. Wardens lose a lot of value, because once you use Living Wall, you're just hoping for 4s and that's it.
Yep.
But that's not to say they're not bad. If you're playing a 1-phase army like World Eaters or Tau, and can stay out of sight of Forge Fiends, or Tau just can't do damage on charges, you're like, cool. I'm just gonna Warden up, 6 times in 5 turns and see what you do about it.
Yep. So moving on to the next mission. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off at the end?
No. I was gonna say. So in short, I would say if you're playing that mission, assess what your army's better at, and try and do that as plan A, and then opportunistically find ways to hamper your opponent from their advantage. Because you might get 2 armies that are great at holding and not like focused on killing.
Correct.
So, for example, if you play, if like you get, I don't know, 2 Custodes into each other, that's just 18 Wardens looking at each other all game. Whoever rolls less 4s, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, man. So play your game plan and try and stop your opponent, because remember, 10-10 is always an option. Very few, unless you tell your captain I'll 20-0 and you come back with a 10-10, very few people are going to be upset that you got a draw and not a lot. It's fine.
Yep.
So
mostly irrelevant, but it should be irrelevant that you shouldn't have like a certain feeling of fear to lose or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So when you're on your team, I know you're going to be concerned. You're going to be sad if you end up losing. You're going to be happy when you end up winning. But don't let it discourage you from actually participating at a team event or trying to be your best at that team event. So moving on to Mission C, priority targets and layout 5. 5? No, we didn't have no layout 5. Layout 6. This is the close. So this closes the event. It's all about holding 2 central objectives for multiple turns. So armies that blend durability and flexibility dominate this one, right? So top performers would probably be like Grey Knights using teleport redeploys, Tyranids, invasion detachments, portals, things like that. Raven Guard, Inceptors, Scouts to move forward, right?
Also,
So many
anything with sticky objectives, which for those of you who aren't familiar, sticky refers to any rule that says an objective stays under your control until your opponent has a greater level. That is what we mean by sticky, which is good because you don't need to have a resource there. They shoot you off it, you go, okay, I still get primary for holding it. That's what we just to clarify.
Yes, I do. I take my prizes in teeth. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, Regal. That's exactly how that works. And just people need to be cognizant of that, right? Just make sure that when you're doing these with your teammates, you're setting them up, you're listening to this video, or you wrote down the notes or whatnot, right? Or you're watching online, whatever it might be, everything helps, right? There are so many things, so much information out there. You never know when you will or you won't learn.
And I just want to, this one might sound really simple because it's hold 1, 2, or 3 for 5, 10, 15, your home count. So, 2 central objectives means no man's land or your opponents. As long as you're holding, if you hold more than 3, congrats, you're winning, but like you only get points for up to 3. And it might sound simpler than things like Purge the Foe or when Scorched Earth, how to control and burn. But there is a bit of math that goes into it. Because if both of you score, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then they get 15 on bottom because they have bottom of turn, suddenly, they have 45 primary, you have 40.
Yep.
Now it comes out of secondaries. So there is a bit of, if you get first turn, helping to set yourself up to either score more early or deny them multiple turns. Because if you deny them once, you get 10, they get 5. You are now both essentially even at a 40-40. Yep. You need to deny them twice to really push it to, okay, now I have 40, they have 35. Or I have 45, they have 40. So don't think just because it's the least wordy, like no actions are involved, that it's any simpler than the other ones. There is still some strategy, as is our, brand over here, to think about. Which is also why Grey Knights and things that can teleport, things that can go up and down are all very good because you can quickly reassess how the board changed and reposition yourself for maximum advantage.
Yep. And we're going to give them a great tip at the end, but one more time, we got to pay the bills again. All right. We want to make sure to take care of all of our sponsors. We're going to play a quick commercial before we finalize Regal's favorite part of being in a team event as a captain. So the captain section on there.
All right.
All right. Now with a word from our sponsor, Baron of Dice. Baron of Dice is your one-stop shop for premium wargaming dice. Our dice are made with premium resin materials and colored dyes. Each die is hand-mixed to the desired result and then carefully swirled with 2, 3, or 4 colors in a silicone mold before being laser engraved with a wicked symbol and finished in a matte or gloss polish. There are no imperfections in our dice, no balancing issues, no micro bubbles or mold lines. This is the difference between. You can, quite literally, feel and hear a difference with our dice. Whatever game you play, whatever style your team or faction rocks, we're sure to have something to elevate your game. With over 500 styles and over 4,000 customer reviews, welcome to the best dice on the planet. Now back to our show. All right, we're back at it. Man, I have so many sponsors. We have so many sponsors. Everyone has so many sponsors. It's crazy. I need more videos, more time. We need to do 3-hour videos. No, I kid, of course. I kid.
Don't worry, guys. There's one more sponsor coming at the end from Ray. Shout out. No, I'm kidding.
Make sure to go check out Baron of Dice. They have wonderful products. And just to give everyone a heads up, during the holidays, this will be the third year in a row that I've actually been doing this. During the holidays, we will have an online painting contest. And also, do not forget, Regal has an Elfster that's going on right now. Go check out that information. Go join us on our Facebook. It's all down in the description section, rather. check that out. Come and join us and check that out as well. We're going to be doing all kinds of holiday things. I know that I'm going to be playing in a charity event in Brooksville. I'm going to be playing in a GT in Naples. Shout out to Twin Dragons, another sponsor of ours. Thank you very much, Twin Dragons. We love you.
I will also be in that GT.
Yes, you will also be there.
Surprisingly.
So, all of us, just enjoy your holidays. But go ahead, brother. Yeah.
First of all, with the painting contest, it's super cool. You can go look through the Discord. I believe it's still in there for last year's. It was awesome submissions, awesome, participation and just creations. It was great. I'm not a painter myself, but I do enjoy, the passion other people put into it. So that's
and most importantly, I give you out a set of dice from Baron of Dice of your selection. So whatever you want.
Even if you feel like you're not, you are encouraged to participate. I don't, even though people have seen my Tyranids, I get complimented at every event. Everyone's always their worst critic. So go ahead. Maybe people bully me to practice what I preach, but I encourage everyone to go ahead and play, no matter what you think your skill is.
I haven't put out the information yet, so don't look for it yet. But it'll be out in a couple of weeks. As soon as I'm done with my own events this year, I'll have time for all of that extra stuff.
Everyone bully him because you want your dice before Christmas.
I know.
The other thing I was to say about the Elfster thing, it is a Secret Santa exchange.
Yes.
I put a link in chat because I actually was sharing it earlier with some people. It is, for the 40K community. I know we all get busy, buying other people gifts or just doing stuff. Things get. I've been forgotten on Christmas. I've had friends, family who did. Everyone always assumes someone else got them a gift. So I love Secret Santa. I think it's a great time for everyone, and it's just a way to no pressure to low pressure, just kind of charity for everyone. Yep. So everyone's welcome to participate. Elfster does a option to mail gifts, so you don't have to be local if you're not, or you think, I can't make it. It's all in the link. You can read it, see it. But yeah, you're more than welcome to join, and I do encourage you all. Thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely. I didn't want to go on a tangent just now, but thank you for that.
Look, I learned from the best. You can't dangle a carrot in front of my ADHD and say don't. I don't.
So, coming to your favorite part when it comes to a team event. And once again, captain's meeting, 8:30 a.m. That's not p.m., 8:30 a.m. Saturday morning, November 1st.
I want to clarify, so you don't have to. I'll do it as a player. I'm not a captain of this event. To be clear, I'm just a player on a team. But I have been to multiple team events. There are 16 teams as of right now, which means when he calls the captain meeting, 16 people should walk over. Right. I have been to team events where there were 12 teams, and the captain's meeting was 30 people. And the TO there, who wasn't him, to be clear, but the TO was looking around like he had to make an announcement like, guys, there should be 12 of you for 12 teams.
Yep.
So
not 500 people. Yeah.
So one captain for each team, go over. Just
one representative from each team needs to go over. Yep.
And that is, we joked earlier, but that is because there is one of him and 16 times 5 of us, and it is this the point to which you ask questions, get clarity. Hey, are you using this interaction? Or I heard someone say this is a rule now. 16 on one is already a lot. Doubling or tripling that, we're gonna be. Saturday's already 3 rounds. If you go look at the player packet, we're all gonna be there till 8:30.
Yep.
If you want to be there till 10, send over your whole team. I don't know what to tell you.
So what Regal is telling you, if you have any questions, ask them now. Right? There's a Discord.
Yep.
It's all in the description section. You can ask your questions before the event. It would be advantageous if you prepare yourself for all of these things, and that's going to bring us to our tip that we're going to talk about at the end of this. So stay tuned. We have a wonderful tip for you all. But tactical preparation for captains, right? And my man here, and I know you're not captain of this current team, but you're a wonderful captain, so you understand it very well.
This is my favorite part of teams, personally. Selfishly, if I can be real for me, this is my favorite part, is doing the pairing, looking at other people's lists, trying to figure out their strategy. Just looking at it. And so for captains or even teams, because there is time in the round given to account for pairings, but it is still a block of time that we have for pairings and to play our matches. So the more succinctly, I'll say you and your captain, your team can get paired or know your general game plan and how it's going to flow, the more time everyone has to play. So that is what I would say the most important part of understanding this process is. I would say being good is secondary, because even if you're bad at pairings, everyone still has the relatively same amount of time to play their games. If your pairings take half an hour, your first pairing has 25 extra minutes. Your last pairing lost 30 minutes in their game. So there's a try to keep for fair for everyone. And things you can do to do this is your team captain can run mock pairings. They can say, okay, here's the 5 best factions in the game right now. So let's just say a team ran those, right? In a vacuum, they ran the 5 best performing against us. Here's how I would want to, put our first defender, and it's, here's the table I want them on, or in the second table in case they get first pick and they take our table, and just run that a few times. You don't got to do against every possible combination of every faction. No one has that amount of time. That's ludicrous. I would say, again, it's not practicing to get it perfect. It's practicing to be efficient at the steps, because in the player pack, it's something we didn't cover, is after the first roll off for who gets to pick the layout, it switches back and forth. So it's not always the same team picking the same layouts.
Also, I just wanted to show everybody real quick, like these are the pairing cards, right? And the reason, bias reasons, right? The only reason I selected this one because it's World Eaters. But this is what it's going to look like, right? So you're going to be able to turn it down, and everyone is only going to see this, but you're going to know your selection and your team as well. All right. So you could take cards like this. You can go online. You can go like Kinko's and do these yourself and just print out cards that are double-sided, right? Or single-sided for whatever purposes. I did this one exclusively for a friend of mine that's going to play World Eaters. So
I thought that was the back of the card, and all of us were just going to look at World Eaters the entire event. I honestly thought it was.
I mean, I could double it up.
But
just know, you always know it's not a secret.
As Struggle Bus said, go in with a game plan. Go in knowing who your attackers are, who your defenders are, meaning people who you want to put out to be attacked, pick their table, people who want to pick their mission and are a little less terrain dependent.
Yep.
Think about what have each player think about what matchups, like even just a simple, you don't got to get in as specific as number crunching. Oh, I'll get 11 here and a 13 there and a 3 here. You could just thumbs up, thumbs down. Just be like, hey, you use a green-red system, in Microsoft Excel. Like, hey, this is a green matchup, this is a red matchup, this is a gray. Positive, negative, grays anywhere from a 9 to an 11, just to give your captain an idea of advantageous things to speed it along. Good example is if you're playing, Space Wolf Terminators, for example, don't put them on layout 2 into the Imperial Guard gun line or tile shooting. They might think they're tough. They're going to take 2.5 shooting phases before they get there. They're not that tough. And the other thing is, remember, no one game is important. So the differential we talked about, each team as a whole gets a score at the end depending on your individual differential. So that's that score we showed about an hour ago, where you can get anywhere from 0 to 20 points based on the 5 to 6 to plus point differential. You add all those up. So a team can get theoretically 100 points or 0 points. And anywhere in between there. So what you're trying to do, ideally, is get 56 points for your team. If your team gets 56, you win the round. Because the most they can get is now 49. Because the same differential scale that works on an individual level works as a whole team as well. So if, your first 3 game finishes are 20-20-16, let's just say, you now know your last 2 games, you cannot lose the round. You still want to play your best because you're still playing, there is and you can explain more about this. I'm just going to cover it slightly. there is still a individual player tracker for like best general, or I don't know if that's an award, but like, the normal best player score wise, as well as a team tracker. Yes. So just because you win your round, there might be another team who won their round with all 20s. So you got a 71. Well, this team got 100. So now they're 29 points ahead of you. So there is still going
to be a best general award, 100%.
There are multiple levels. There is your level in your game. There is where your team's at, and then there's where your team in the rankings is at as well. That all come into play, which is, again, what I love about being a captain, being on a team, is your performance simultaneously matters less, but also more. Because, and this is also why losing doesn't feel as bad, and why, like I said, we celebrated the guy who got 1 point, got a 19-1 instead of 20-0, because every point matters. Even if losing and you're going into a loss, if you tell your captain, hey, this is going to be a 17-3, and you come back with a 16-4, it's like, hey, we got a point back. Like that's still technically a win for what we thought we were going to get.
And that matters, especially for pointing out team score wins, right? So they know exactly who wins throughout that threshold. So
exactly. So that's also the thing about as captain, and like when advising your captain, even like if you're like, hey, I'll fall in this grenade, they're gonna get a 20 anyway. If there's someone else who doesn't have a good matchup, but like they're like, I might be able to give them an 18, throw the 18 in. Like, why not? If you're both thinking you're gonna lose, minimize the loss you're gonna take, because you never know. Dice happen. Even the best players make mistakes. You could turn a 20-0 into an 11-9 somehow, and that's a huge swing. That's almost an upset.
Yep. That can be an upset, and that can cost them too for placing as well.
Yep.
So, all right, there's a lot of strategies to play in this when it comes to being a captain. So, just
the
to
most
recap.
Important thing,
I'll
say the last thing. The most important thing for every captain to consider, in my opinion, and this is an opinion, I'm going to, is making sure, you're all having a good time. And this, I don't think anyone will. And this is, what you said, this is not, pressuring people or anything. It's just, hey, because it's also it goes the other way. If you tell your captain, I'm going to get a 20-0, and you come back like, man, I got 11-9, I'm not really sure what happened.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens. Sometimes they had tech you weren't familiar with, and all of a sudden the game you thought was going to go a certain way was like, oh no, wait a minute, that plan's not going to work, and you got to scramble. So,
and it could be the mission, it could be the layout, it can be the pairing, it could be a lot of factors, right? So don't just blame any one person. Just say, listen, next time we're going to try to rectify everything, make everything better, and move on.
And that's also where your teammates come in, because then your captain or I don't know if they're called coach, but one of the other people we talked about way back in the beginning can say, oh hey, Regal said he was going to get a 20-0, but they said 11-9. So that 11-9 you were going to get, could you make it a 13 or 14? Like, is there anything you can do to maybe be more aggressive, do this thing? So that's where the team element comes in, where you can kind of, within reason, on the fly, be like, hey, needs have kind of changed. Can you, adjust to maybe lose less or win a little bit more? You can't turn, a 10-10 into a 20-0 in most cases, but you might be able to, hey, maybe take this risk, or if you were thinking of not doing something to be safe, maybe do it just to see, because we're already in a hole or something like that. So that's where the team aspect comes in, for everybody contributing to the overall score. But
jeez, sneezing my head off.
yeah, that's, you got anything else for captains, your first time captains, veteran captains? Or are you ready to move on to the next one?
No, just be cognizant of the terrain also, right? Make sure you understand the differentials, how many points you actually need, and things like that. So just make sure that you are coaching up your team. You are allowed to do that. There's stipulations in the player packet as well to state that there are certain things that you can't do. Like, you can't tell your opponent, your teammate, to like go against a certain unit because it has this certain ability and you're using this secondary whatever, right? So you can't do things like that. You can't give like tactics out, but you could definitely be like, hey, encourage them. Hey, maybe you should push a little bit more, defend a little bit more, things like that, right? Don't lose so many points. Try
broad
to use resources. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, no like tactical input. That is a form of cheating, but you can, broad strokes, hey, maybe take a risk you were thinking of taking. You don't even ask, like, hey, was there something you were, do you have something you can do, even if it's a little bit risky?
Yep.
But yeah, saying like, hey, instead of this night targeting that Terminator unit, shoot those scouts instead. You can't do that.
Yeah. You can't talk out through the games and actually like an actual coaching session throughout a game. Yeah.
You still have to let them play their match. So just to clarify, well, that's good. It's good to clarify what advice looks like, because some people might not know. But this is your section, because this is all admin stuff. So Phil, take the reins.
I wanted you to take this because I'm already going to say what I always say, my special phrase at the end anyways. So I thought that this would be a little bit special for me.
So just to remind everyone, all lists are due October 28th.
Sorry, that one. Yes, lists are due October 28th. Next one, number 7 is you.
I was gonna actually ask you off the air because I forgot to look at I looked, but I forgot what it was. I'm like, crap, when's the cutoff? But you see, look, I told you, I learned something too on these shows.
There you go. It's right there, brother. So for me to take over this section, key reminders, you're right. October 28th, 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Model approval, rules, questions is in the Discord. You should already know that. I've sent emails to everyone. It is the captain's responsibility to ensure that all your listing are in on the 28th as well. That's end of day, not banker hours. That's end of the actual 24-hour clock. So,
yep. And also make sure you use the approved methods for submitting lists. That is very important. They are listed in the player pack. So you never know. People there's other apps that people might use, so just make sure that at Captain specifically, when your people say my list is in, like have them send you a screenshot of what they sent, just so you know.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to. My job is not to punish everyone, right? Only for those who are seeking it.
Yep. And then you go over the conversion stuff?
Absolutely, brother. All that, just go to my Discord. 7 is all you, brother. That's what I wanted for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So remember, guys, team events, they're not necessarily won by having the highest score. It like with every 40K event, it is competitive, but it's more about the community. How you get to the highest score is by coordination and control. There is no I in team. If one person gets a 20 and everyone else doesn't get above a 5, you didn't win the round. All right, I got bad news for you. So, it's that. And another thing here is, we talked about different play styles, different jobs. Like yourself, like personal accountability for your own mental state. If you had a really grindy, attrition-y game, and your dice screwed you and your secondaries weren't there, like you got to shake that off and go into your next one because your team needs you just as much in round 2, 3, 4, and 5 than they did on round 1 when you walked in that morning. So, self-control, coordination, understanding your job, whether it is to be the, superstar and get all the points, or the, guy that's, stuck shoveling the crap and just taking the hits. Every job is just as important. And a lot of captains that I've heard and talked to, and even teammates, players, will admit that the person who gets 20 O's is not the most valuable person. The captain isn't even the most valuable person. It is the guy or girl who says, I'll get 7 max in any given game this event, but my team, the other 4, will be better for it. That person is a freaking gold mine. If you have one, treat them like royalty. Because that is hard to do. But yeah, they're won by, coordination, everyone knowing their jobs, everyone, and even control and pairings is a big thing. I've seen people, and I've done it myself. I've self-sabotaged by going into a match where I just wanted to know what would happen because I was stubborn, where I could have easily taken and set my team up for a better score.
Yep.
So that is, control in that way as well. Like I said, I'm not perfect. Now, my team knew I was doing it, and they approved. I didn't, do it behind their back. But I was very wisely advised to not take that matchup for myself.
And why is Scorched Earth going to be a problem?
Well, we will get there. The first thing I was going to say before that, sir,
The
is
15th thing you were gonna say, not the first.
well, first before that. In context, calm down.
Yeah.
This is regal counting, not military counting. You guys put 13 on the clock. I don't know what you're doing. Is practice, how your team, deploys, how they play on it with terrain. Even if you only deploy on terrain, you might think layout 6 is good for your melee army, and then realize, oh crap, they're Montcalm with advance and shoot. I have like one spot to put one brick, and everything else can be seen if they go first. As a hypothetical, just make sure the information you're getting as a captain and giving as a player, and even as a captain yourself who's playing theoretically, is accurate. Because there's no worse feeling than saying I got this, and then as soon as you get to the table and start putting your first unit down, you're like, oh no, oh I messed up.
Yeah,
because that's also happened. Yeah, and then just have a conversation about pairings. It can be as intricate or as, like I said, overview as you want, but just get on a general understanding. So if you say, hey, they got Space Wolves and Admech and Custodes and Imperial Knights and Chaos Demons, who do you want? The other, there's no one player like, everyone's kind of got an idea. But going on to the missions themselves, Scorched Earth, as you mentioned, will be a pivot point. As we said, because of it is one of the most pacing-focused primaries we have to play with. As we said, you can burn out early, and ironically, your opponent will scorch your ground for it. And you could also pressure an advantage if an opponent deployed too conservatively, or they have a fear of your army. Say they're like, oh no, I'm playing, Bringers of Flame Sisters, they got unnerved. I don't want to go out and get shot. You're like, all right, I'm just burn this, I guess. Come out and I'll shoot you anyway, like whatever. Or World Eaters. If you're playing, against 60, berserkers, and you're like, oh god, they're going to advance and charge if I even leave my deployment zone. Well, so yeah, that's there are many things here, and you really want to understand that mission, whether you can push, whether you can hold back, whether you can kill what they put out. If they're putting out, Rodagis and a Great Unclean One and 2 Great Unclean Ones on the center objective and just staring at you, hopefully you have a plan, and that your captain had a plan in pairing you into that. I will add, aside from this one, the other mission I think will heavily influence it is supply drop, because 8 points is over a differential and a half. Because if you miss those 8 points and you don't have a way to make it up or a plan for that, that could just turn whatever you thought into 2 more points of a difference. And if your opponent, they got it, you could get a boon of 2 points, but you have no control over that. But again, getting 2 differential points on that versus Scorched Earth, possibly handing you 3 or 4, on turn 5, will certainly matter more, because 3 or 4 on Scorched Earth will, like I said, you only need 56. So you can get half of them alone on this mission. And I believe it pops up on multiple tables. So you get 2 tables with this where your captain understood the pairing and the other captain maybe didn't. Suddenly you won the match off of this mission alone. And that's what, you asked about, saying, hey, why is it so important? Because 2 Scorched Earth victories could push you to that 56 victory line you need if the other 3 matches go as planned.
Yep.
Big if. We understand Murphy's Law, but just saying.
It presents itself 3 times in every matchup, right? So you have, if you can dominate that, you're going to dominate the event. And that's really what it's about. So what are you most excited about, brother, when it comes to the team event? I know we've been listening to a lot of that, so that breaks down all of the information for the event. If you have any questions, make sure to comment now. I can answer any questions for you for the event, particular rules itself. If you have anything, ask me. Go ahead, Regal.
My favorite part of teams, aside from being I call it the game of captaining and pairing, personally, that I get from it is watching people who don't understand armies with their full chest be like, oh yeah, no, throw me in, Cap, I got this here. And then they play and they're like, I may have bitten off more than I could chew. and this is no slight against anyone. Yeah. I've done it, and I've done it to many people. I had it done to myself for a little bit of humbling. had my own slice of the humble pie. But like I said, there's 9 Tyranids, and Tyranids are, perfectly fine. They're at about a 50% win rate, with only, I believe, 3 of the detachments themselves getting above a 50% win rate on average.
Right.
So, it's going to be fun to see people like, oh, I'm paired into Tyranids. I got this. And then they come back and they're like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what a terrain effects did. What is that thing? It's just.
So then everybody's going to be very happy with the Best in Xenos trophy.
The Best in Xenos is going to an Eldar player. Why are we even pretending? You know what?
9 people will love how the trophy looks.
That's not fair. If there's Votan players, they might take it. But I'm terrified of Votan.
Votan could as well. You're absolutely right.
They are.
You're absolutely right.
Hashtag Votan should be allied to Tau, and Tau should ally the Votan, but whatever.
So that wraps it up for all of the.
No.
Listen, man, I gotta go eat. Maybe you can.
No. What are you most excited for, Mr. Organizer? Don't come on. You're part of the community too.
The new things that I've learned and bringing them to this event. That's really, it's ambiguous and vague as shit. But the new things that I've learned and to help out with the experience of this event. I mean, your experience rather in this event, right? So hopefully everyone's happy. Hopefully everyone has a great time. Tim Wright will be there as well as a judge. It's going to be a great time, man. It's going to be an awesome time.
Look,
I'm excited for the people. I'm excited to see the people always.
There's a non-zero chance my partner comes, and if she's there, she's just going to take all of Tim's time getting details about the narrative for next Crucible. He's going to be doing zero judging. I'm just going to let you know right now.
She's going to be bugging him the whole time.
She's a ton of questions. The entire dossier. But yeah, other than that, I got nothing. This has been great. MTG Struggle Bus is poking the bear, and it's working.
Yep. This brings a Harridan. A Carradin. That's hilarious.
Look, this time, I found a way to make it work. But I'm not going to hang that on 4 other people's shoulders because I'm a good teammate.
Sure.
If I could have gone to the RTP in Brooksville, there'd have been a Harridan on the table.
Real quickly, this is how I imagined the conversation went. Listen, a Harridan is really good. It's a skewed list. You can really tech me into these missions and these layouts, and I'll do really well. I promise. Let me bring it, please. Exactly how those conversations went.
Because we will be at the event, and the parties will be known at that point. I'll tell you off the air how the conversation went.
It wasn't really good. It wasn't really good if we can't say it on YouTube.
Oh, nope. That's not why. It's for a whole other reason. But no, it's great. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited that's watching. And by all means, feel free to stop by, even if you're not playing because maybe you were too shy or intimidated by the format or whatever. Come hang out, look, see what it is, and go to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Just stop by, say hello. Exactly. Check out the vendors. There's going to be some vendors selling some stuff there. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of new sweet stuff that I'm going to have there too. So check it out. Would love to see all of you. Can't wait to see all of you.
Absolutely.
So everyone, you gotta say good night to everybody. Tell them bye. I mean, don't be rude. Jeez.
You were in such a hurry to leave.
The more you talk without saying bye, the longer I wait.
Well, thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'm the problem. This is not new. People keep telling me, I don't believe them. So have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you there. Whether you're playing, visiting, help, just there supporting a team like Kurt, whatever it is, come say hi. Running the event, whatever that looks like.
Thank you. Much love. Applause for everyone, as always. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Dude, I really like the applause. Like, I could pretend there's an audience. So, with that being said, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, as always. Hopefully, we see you there. Thank you, Regal. Wonderful, wonderful. My brother from another mother, always helping us out, giving us the right information. And with that being said, remember, Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away, everyone. Good night. Salute.
Have a good one.
I love you. Love you all. Have a wonderful night. Hopefully, I see you at the Tampa team
Oh.
event.
Go to the Onslaught Facebook and tell Lewis you love him. There's an awesome post on there.
Love you all.